John Leahy, our Chief Operating Officer, Customers, Tom Williams, our new Chief Operating Officer, and Didier Evrard, our new Head of Programs. Photographers, you have also further opportunities throughout the press conference. One more shot, and Fabrice, before we start, has a few personal words for you to address. I will ask Fabrice Brégier, our Airbus President and CEO, on stage before we officially then start the press conference. Fabrice, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stefan. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this annual press conference. Yes, I would like to start telling you that I'm very happy that you join us today. You belong to the journalist community, which was badly hit last week. And in the wake of these dramatic events, of course, everybody, including at Airbus, is full of emotion, solidarity with the victims. But I would like to deliver one simple message, is that we need you. We need a strong, we need a vigorous press to support a healthy and free country and also a strong economy. So today this is even more important that you join us, and I'm very grateful for each of you and your colleagues that follow up Airbus and attend our events. Thank you very much for that. I would like also to start having a very deep thought for our friends at AirAsia. We were also under the shock at the end of last year. Everybody was relaxing after a very intense 2014, and we were caught by surprise with this tragic loss of an AirAsia A320 aircraft at the very end of the year. You have seen that the black boxes have been found and recovered, which gives me hope that the investigation conducted by the authorities will bring clarity, because what we want to do in these cases is to go through the detailed analysis of the possible root causes. And this is not by chance that air transportation is the safest way to travel around the world. It is because priority comes first, safety comes first as the priority in our business, not limited to Airbus, but of course to the aircraft manufacturing community. And we will do whatever we can to support these investigations, to be as close as possible to one of our best partners around the world, I name AirAsia, and make sure that all the lessons are drawn for the future. So sorry to start with these two notes, which hopefully will not be followed by so tragic events. But I would like to tell you that these are the two elements which are clearly in our force today when we welcome you. Now I suggest that we move to a press conference as such, and I would like to launch a short video highlighting the main events for Airbus in 2014. Thank you. Well, as you can see, 2014 has been a very important year, a landmark year, I would say, for Airbus, not just for 14, but for the future growth and profitability of the group. We have the largest backlog ever. We'll come to that with, again, a fantastic year regarding new orders. We have delivered on our toughest challenge, having launched the A350 in 2007. We have certified the aircraft, and we have delivered the first series aircraft. We have started, as planned, the A320neo flight tests, which is essential to Airbus, as you know. And we have also prepared the longer-term future, having launched successfully in Farnborough the A330neo. So for me, this is a fantastic year for Airbus and for our long-term future. If I move to the orders, we have the second best ever performance for Airbus. You can see the numbers, 1,456 net orders, and it means that we had a book-to-bill which is above 2. And the best year ever was in 2013 with, I think, 1,503 net orders. So over 2 years, we got 3,000, almost 3,000 net orders, which I believe is a fantastic performance, which supports the quality, of course, of our backlog and of our teams. Regarding our teams, by the way, I should have introduced people you know well, but who have taken on new responsibilities. I've been working for them already for 8 years, so this is for me business as usual, but you know that we had slight modifications of our top team at the 1st of Jan, and except John, who remains in his role because he's good only at selling aircraft, we have promoted Tom Williams as Chief Operating Officer, and Didier has succeeded Tom, and we have decided to also put together the 350 with all the other programs in our program directorate under the leadership of Didier, as the 350 has now reached a level of maturity which allows to manage it together with the 320, 330 and 380 family. So regarding the orders, our market share stands at just over 50%, but more importantly, this is the success of our product lines. I would like to perhaps pick out 3 highlights from last year, even if each order, each customer is equally important, but some are probably delivering a clear message about the quality of our product line. First of all, we have launched the A330neo in Farnborough, and we have secured by the end of last year 120 net orders from 6 customers, which in only 6 months is, I believe, an exceptional performance. Second, Delta decided to select both the A330neo for the transatlantic services and the A350 for its trans-Pacific routes. So not only it confirms the quality of these 2 families, but also it confirms what we told you, that they are excellent complements to each other to form what I believe the strongest long-range family in the world. And the third highlight is the popularity of the 320neo, but also you will see that the 320ceo family. And they attracted many orders, a lot from leasing companies, and they are, of course, our greatest asset for the future. Regarding deliveries, we managed to top our previous last year's record of 626 deliveries, and we delivered this year 629 aircraft. We have increased our deliveries for the 13th consecutive year. This is a small increase, but we know that we wanted to stabilize the A320 industrial performance, and we have just started the delivery of the first A350. So overall, this is a great performance. I just remind you that we have doubled the output compared to 10 years ago. So this confirms that this market doubles in size every 10 years. We had, yes, the delivery of the first A350, everybody knows that, on the 22nd of December. You probably also noticed that we delivered 30 A380s. It means that this program is now a program which delivers a very good industrial and commercial performance. Of course, with these orders, we have a backlog of 6,386 net aircraft, which is an equivalent of close to 9 years of production. It means that we have a very long-term visibility on our industrial activity. I will give you a short highlight of the programs. First of all, the wide body. So let's start with the A350 XWB. The A350 XWB, we always told you, is by far the toughest challenge for Airbus. Since we launched it, we know that launching a state-of-the-art new development like that, especially a wide body, is extremely difficult. And I cannot tell you how pleased I am and proud to see that we managed to stick to our plans, which had been revisited 2.5 years ago, which was to certify this aircraft in Q3 and to deliver the first one in Q4. And we did it, I think, for a few reasons, which are the maturity of the technology, the expertise of our teams, the engagement of our people, and I include in our people our reshoring partners, our suppliers, who work like hell to make it happen, and also the leadership of our top management and middle management. And when you put that together with humility, lessons learned from the A380, especially what went well on this development program and what went wrong, and also adding values as team trust and transparency, we get a fantastic result. Because this is a fantastic result. And I would like to congratulate all the teams, Airbus and partners, who have managed to make it happen. The A350 has also attracted additional orders. We are at 780 orders, so the next challenge of Didier, after a first good delivery, will be to deliver 779 aircraft, and hopefully much more, as John will finalize probably other contracts with this fantastic family of aircraft. It's, of course, a strong endorsement of the A350. We were very pleased that 200 of you could fly in the first Qatar Airways series aircraft on the 22nd of December. I'll personally fly this week from Doha to Frankfurt in the first commercial flight on the 15th of January. And our challenge remains high, but is changing. It's becoming more traditional. Doesn't mean it is an easy one, which is ramping up the production to achieve rate 10 in 2018. And it's also looking carefully at the maturity in service, at the recurring costs. Regarding the 350-1000, we are on track. The performance will be there. This is always easier to stretch an aircraft and draw the lessons from the first one. We will start the final assembly line operations in a little bit more than 1 year, early 16, to be able to deliver the first aircraft around mid-2017. Now on the A330, we launched, as I told you, the NEO 6 months ago. In fact, we listened to our customers. And you know that we had improved during the last year this family. One example is the 242-ton max takeoff A330, which, by the way, performed its maiden flight yesterday and which will be delivered to Delta Airlines next May. So we had additional potential. We knew the limit of performance of this aircraft, and we managed to put together a family with the 330neo-800 and 900, which will be extremely successful. Why? Because the cost of capital remains low, and at the same time, we achieve fuel burn reduction of about 14%, which places this family in the top category compared to the 787 or 350 generation. So this is what we have achieved. Now our goal is to deliver the first aircraft at the end of 2017, meaning 42 months of development time, which will set a new record for development of a big upgrade. We can do that because we start from already existing engines, from a platform which is known in details, and also we find ways to develop this upgrade with more simplicity and with less time, drawing also the lessons on the 320neo. The 330ceo remains a very competitive and cost-effective aircraft, and I'm sure the 242-ton variant will help us get additional orders. We also offer, because the 330 is very versatile, possibilities with this aircraft to do the job of domestic missions. You know that in some countries we have congested airports, and a 330ceo can do the job of two A321s in a very economic way. The 380 delivered 30 A380s. We are really on track to achieve the break-even in 2015. We have now 3 new operators, Asiana, Qatar Airways, and Etihad. It means that we have now 152 A380s flying every day with 13 top airlines. And I am confident that the A380's best days lie ahead. We as passengers, everybody who has flown the A380 loves the A380. And we believe that as the size of the market doubles every 10 to 15 years, 10 years with the current growth rate, we will have more demand for the A380. In 2014, we got an order of 20 aircraft from the leasing company, Amedeo. Emirates is the first supporter and is generating a fantastic growth and profit with this A380. Qatar Airways, Etihad have the best possible showcase for their brand and high-class service with the A380. I would also like to add that the A380 has now achieved an operational reliability which is among the highest. As an example, if I take Korean Airlines, they have a record on that. they have an operational reliability of 99.7%. So we went through several years of difficult time. This is now totally behind us. Then, if I take Heathrow as an example, I think we have 7 major airlines operating A380s into Heathrow. And listening to the airport authorities, I believe the A380 has played a key contribution to the 3 million more passengers in the last 2 years flying to and from Heathrow. So this aircraft remains a solid pillar of Airbus wide-body family. And I think together with the 330, 350, and 380, we have the most modern and extended wide-body family. So from 250-seater to up to 600 for long range and some domestic services. We have, by the way, delivered 139 wide bodies, including the A380, which is the record in Airbus history. Now moving to the A320, we in 2014 had again a fantastic performance with a 320neo, more than 1,000 orders, with a backlog now of above 3,600 neos since its launch 4 years ago. So it's an average of 900 per year, if I am correct. 70 customers. This is exceptional for an incremental development. We deliver now with all the improvements at aircraft level and engine level. We are able to deliver at the end of this century 20% fuel burn reduction compared to the current flying model. This is, of course, a very strong endorsement of our incremental innovation strategy. What I want is that we move faster to more innovations, perhaps simpler, smaller, but much faster to match customers' demand. And in this spirit, John will tell you later that we have formally decided to launch a variant of the A321neo, increasing the max takeoff of the aircraft to 97 tons, giving extra range and being a very good successor of the 757 for long-range missions. So we will explain that to you. This is an example of what we can offer. But the A320 family is not limited to the neo, and you will also see that we got 300 net orders of additional CEO. And so for us, the challenge will be to deliver more CEOs. We have decided, to ramp up to rate 46 in 2016, and also at the same time to transition to more NEOs. NEO program is so at full speed in flight test. We have performed more than 180 flight hours in 53 flights. So this was the first phase of the program. In the meantime, Pratt & Whitney has certified its series engine, and so we are now installing the series engine to our aircraft to move to the next phase to get the certification of the first A320neo with Pratt & Whitney in Q3 and be in a position to start the deliveries in Q4. I'll finish with a word about 2015 priorities. Entry into service, of course, of the A320neo. Delivery from May of the first A330 242 tons. Validation of the A330neo design and moving to the detailed development and the industrial process at the end of this year. start of the pre-final assembly lines in Hamburg, in Saint-Nazaire, in Broughton, on the 350-1000 at the second half of this year to prepare the entry into assembly line early 16. Make sure that the A350 has a smooth entry into service and react to the teething issue on the new aircraft. Deliver around 15 aircraft this year of A350 and prepare the ramp up to rate 10. We will also, of course, continue to focus on our competitivity. In his role, Tom will gather all of the actions, internal actions, to make sure that we will continue after Power 8, after Power 8 Plus, to reduce our costs, to be more efficient, to be faster in our developments, to have a higher level of quality in our deliveries. Innovation will also remain a strong priority in 2015, and we are preparing the longer-term future through R&D and through additional incremental innovations. We will, this year, in 2015, deliver a slightly higher number of aircraft, and as I said, we will deliver around 15 A350s. We'll slightly reduce the output of 330s, go down to rate 9, but will be close to 100 aircraft. The A380 will be again close to 30 aircraft this year, and single aisle through the transition, which will be more or less stable. So this is what you can expect in 2015, a small increase, but a slight increase in production as planned. We will also move on the development of the new Beluga. This one is a ticket of close to 1 billion euro. We need that for our logistics transportation of big parts from our plants, and we will start the development for first delivery in 2019 of the first aircraft. We'll produce 5 aircrafts for our requirements. Regarding orders, after 3,000 aircraft booked for the last 2 years, I still set a very challenging target to John, which is a book-to-bill above 1.
I accept.
Well, I'll finish there. Our business is tough. We have many unknowns. Our job is to reduce the numbers of these unknowns and to be prepared just in case. I think that we have proved during the last years that we are able to do that. We'll continue, and 2015 will hopefully confirm our good performance on the 350, on the launch of the 330neo, on the launch in series of the 320neo family, and this will be perhaps a less visible year compared to last year, but it will be fundamental for the future, for the ramp-up of our production and the ramp-up of our profitability in the years to come. Now, John, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Stefan, if you could arrange for somebody to maybe move up that screen. With my bad eyesight, I really can't see the one in the back. That's one of the reasons why I stopped flying, by the way. Everyone says, why did you stop flying just because of bad eyesight? What I used to do is put the power to it at the end of the runway. When the co-pilot said, oh my God, I just pull back. But those were the old days. Those were turboprops. We didn't know what V1, VR, V2 was. Anyway, while I digress, while we're setting this up, and we tilted Stefan a little bit more there. Thank you all for coming. A special thanks to our colleagues in Seattle who stayed up late to watch this live presentation. Pay very careful attention, please. Perhaps you'll learn something. We had 1,456 net orders, as Fabrice said, the second best year. We have about 6,400 aircraft in backlog. By the way, that is an industry record. 629 aircraft delivered. That's an Airbus record. So we're feeling pretty good about that. So how did we get from the end of November to where we are today? Remember, we had gross of 1,300 and net of about 1,000 at the end of November. You'll see as we print it, this is the order book. We have Calc, Finnair, Aeroflot, Lion Air, and so on and so forth. And I believe, yeah, that gets us to about 1,800 airplanes gross, 1,456 aircraft net. Now, what's very interesting about that is that we do have some undisclosed customers. And you've heard me in the past say I'm not very happy about that. Well, it looks like some of our customers are insisting that they be undisclosed. By the way, with 1,796, we have fewer undisclosed this year than our colleagues in Seattle with their lower numbers. But it does seem to be the case that some customers say, I just don't want my name out there. Now, these are audited numbers by our outside auditors, legally binding contracts, pre-delivery payments paid. So we're very pleased with the numbers. About 1,800 aircraft gross, about 1,456 aircraft net. And Fabrice mentioned leasing companies. We're very pleased with our partnership with leasing companies. They've been financing a lot of our aircraft. In 2014, they hit 50% of all of our aircraft. Now, some are direct purchases from us, but others are sale-leasebacks, and you see the two categories there, SLB, sale-leaseback. That's an airline's order that the leasing company went in and on their own did a transaction to do the financing of that, pick up the pre-delivery payments, et cetera. So they're becoming a very big influence in the industry. And in terms of this duopoly, it seems to be relatively stable at about 50-50. We're slightly ahead of the other guy, but I would probably call this year a draw in terms of units at least. In terms of revenue, well, they probably won in terms of revenue at catalog prices anyway. But remember, that's the 777X orders that were announced at the Dubai Air Show the previous year ended up in the order book. If we look at it by individual category, and again, I'm doing this on a net basis, we have a good 54% in the single aisle category and doing well on the Neo versus the Max. On the net basis, I must admit, the middle twin category does not look good because our colleague, Mr. Tim Clark, canceled 70 airplanes, and you can see what that does to your order book. And of course, on the right-hand side, it's a small market, but we're dominating the market for the very large aircraft. So I would like to do these pies on a gross basis to see what we actually took in as orders in the year. And then you can see 56% on the single aisle, 40% on the twin aisle category, and 91% on the very large aircraft category. So we're pleased with that. On the 350, it looks like about a wash, 47 to 53%. On the Neo Max, 54 to 46. We're pleased with that, although you'll see if you go back to all of the Neos, all of the Maxes, we're still saying close to our 60-40 split in the marketplace. In terms of combined year-end industry backlog, it is a record setter no matter how you look at it. Our backlog increased by 827. I believe Boeing backlog is also at a record. So there's quite a few years of production out there. Now there's something I don't like. So this is more directed to the guys sitting up with their bottle of wine in Seattle, where you say, well, Airbus gets all of these orders, but we deliver more airplanes. Well, I want to set the record straight. If you go back for the last 10 years, we've delivered 237 more airplanes, to be precise. We were delivering more for a while. Now they're delivering more. When Tom Williams and his team figure out how to produce more single-aisle aircraft, why that number is going to swing in the other direction. As the A350 ramps up, that number is going to swing in the other direction. So this goes back and forth like a pendulum, but to set the record straight, last 10 years, we actually did deliver more aircraft. Now, one of the reasons is our single-aisle program. It is setting records every day. Every 2 seconds, every 2 seconds, an A320 takes off or lands somewhere in the world. Over 11,000 orders, over 6,000 delivered with a backlog of 5,000 aircraft. In terms of the Neo Max, yes, we got to the marketplace about 6 months ahead of their order with American Airlines. But if you look at it, for all of those years, we are maintaining about a 60-40 split in the market. Right now, the exact number is 58%. Well, if that becomes 57, I don't care, but I think the natural market inclination is that our airplane will be about 60% of this market. And one of the reasons, this is where we started out. We said we'd have 15% lower fuel burn than our existing A320ceo. And you can see, sure enough, in 2010, when we brought the airplane out, December 2010, we actually had 15% better fuel burn. But then we also looked at the product and realized we could increase the seat limits on the airplane. So we brought the airplane up, in particular, the 320, from 180 seats to 189 seats, and we're moving 321 from 220 seats to 240. Well, what does that do? That improves the fuel burn per seat. So now it's minus 17, minus 18, and on a 321, minus 21%. Not too bad. Then you look at 2019, Pratt & Whitney is offering us another 2% reduction in fuel burn. And I'm confident that our colleagues at CFMI will come up competitively and match that, if not in 2019, shortly thereafter. And what does that extra fuel burn improvement do? It gives us, on the A320, 20% lower fuel burn per seat, and on the A321, 23% lower fuel burn per seat. That's why this aircraft is going to sit there with about 60% of the single-aisle market. And that's a very profitable market. It's a lot of cash in that market as well. Now, Fabrice mentioned that we're launching today the A321LR, long-range, a 97-ton version of the airplane, in particular to go after the market that everybody said needed replacing, the old 757-200 market that could fly single aisle across the Atlantic, could fly from North America to South America, et cetera, and around Asia. Well, we've looked at that market, and we see that we could clearly pick up about 500 aircraft there, but it's not just that market, it's about another 500 aircraft of growth, new market opportunities that really can't be operated by this aircraft because, honestly, we're burning about 30% less fuel than a 757. That's the range payload of a 757, the aircraft flying across the North Atlantic, the latest high gross weight version of the airplane. It was a very nice airplane, slightly overpowered, but it was okay. This is our range payload now. As you can see, it sits right on top of it. Right on top of the 757-200, but burning about 25 to 30% less fuel, depending upon how many seats you put in the aircraft, with even more range. And I'm pleased to announce, the press release should be going out now, that ALC, the godfather of the industry, Mr. Stephen Udvar-Hazy, who tends to pick the winners in this industry very perceptively, wants to be, and is today, the launch customer for the A321LR, the 97-ton version of the aircraft. He ordered 30 aircraft. Now, if we look at the wide-body family, and this is something that also annoys me for you guys out there in Seattle, you do build a nice wide-body, but saying that you build more wide-bodies and take more orders than we do is just wrong. If you go back all the way to December of 2006, the launch of the A350 XWB, you can see that their wide-body orders net and our wide-body orders net are virtually the same. In fact, we're slightly higher. And as we start ramping up production on our A350, as we introduce our A330neo, I think you're going to see those numbers move quickly in our direction. But the facts are, all the way back to the launch of the A350 in December of 2006, our net wide-body orders in every year after cancellation, will be pleased to give you those numbers as published every year by both Boeing and Airbus. We are in the lead. About the same, slightly in the lead. Pendulum will swing back in our direction over the next couple years. One of the reasons is the A330 program. Look at 2014. Some of you in the press were saying, oh, gee, what's happening to the A330? Well, gee, I hope it just keeps up the way it's going here. 54 A330 COs in the order book, 120 A330 NEOs in the order book, and I still have some commitments on the A330 NEO that in the next 60 to 90 days will end up in the order book. 101 operators worldwide. It's the most successful wide-body program ever. 1,467 aircraft, about 1,154 delivered, over 300 aircraft in the backlog. Here are the NEO announced orders, 120 aircraft from 6 customers around the world. As you can see, 2 are MOUs that in the next 60 days probably will be in the order book, 60 to 90 days. So I'm pleased with that program. I just wish, Tom, you could get a few more of them for me a little bit faster. By the way, DDA, that goes for 350 as well. We could sell a few more if you could build them. Delta orders the A350 and the A330 together. I think you're going to see a lot more of that happening in the future. Delta, based in the US, knows aircraft very, very well. Has 787s on order. But what did they pick for their Pacific routes? They picked the A350. What did they pick for the North Atlantic routes out into the Middle East? They bought the A330 NEO. It's a winning combination, 50 wide bodies. It is a winning strategy. I think you'll see a lot more orders like that in 2015. Then, of course, we had 57 new A350 XWBs. We now are up to 780 firm orders. That is after the unfortunate cancellation. 40 customers, 779 aircraft in the backlog. One, as Fabrice said, flying the first flight in, 2 days, right? From Doha to Frankfurt. You should all be on it. A350 XWB is a success because it does what a 777-300 does, and it does it with wider seats, a nicer cabin, and 25% lower fuel consumption. 380, it operates on 94 routes today, 44 destinations every 4 minutes. That's right, every 4 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. An A380 is taking off or landing somewhere in the world. 317 orders, 152 deliveries, a backlog of 165 airplanes, 75 million passengers have paid to be on this airplane, and they seek it out. It's a market share magnet. If you put it on a route, the airline picks up market share. And that's one of the reasons why, even though some of you would say, well, the market is small. Yes, we never said it was going to be a gigantic market, but in that very large aircraft market, we are absolutely dominating the market. Absolutely dominating the market. If you look at it in terms of number of aircraft share, we dominate. If you look at the number of operators share, we dominate that market, and we'll continue to do so. Now you say, who cares about dominating a small market? We do, because it's a very good market, and it's a market that's going to grow. You all know, there's no debate, RPKs double, revenue passenger kilometers, double every 15 years in this industry. They've been doing so since the dawn of the jet age. They continue to do so because RPKs, air transport, is so intertwined with gross domestic product around the world. You can't have growth in one without growth in the other. So RPKs, people flying, will continue to double every 15 years. Well, think about airports like Heathrow, JFK, Hong Kong, Charles de Gaulle, Frankfurt. Our competitor says, well, just have more frequencies, double the number of flights. Do you believe you can double the number of flights going into Heathrow, into Frankfurt, Charles de Gaulle, JFK, LAX, etc.? There are 42 megacities today that handle over 90% of the world international traffic. By 2023, that's not that far away, there'll be 71 megacities handling the traffic. And remember, just connecting these points is a point-to-point trip. But they'll be carrying 95% of all the long-haul international travel will go through those hubs. And by 2030, about 20 years out in the future, almost 20 years out in the future, or slightly over, will have 91 megacities, and they'll be covering almost all of the international long-haul travel. And we're not going to handle this traffic by just doubling the number of flights every couple years. One of the reasons, in addition to just lack of slots at the airports, and I don't think they're about to build any new airports in Heathrow or in the Frankfurt area anytime soon, we are all human, and there are certain times of the day that we like to fly, and other times we don't like to fly. And if you're traveling long haul, 12, 14, 15-hour flights, you tend to like to do it overnight so you can sleep on the airplane. In fact, the airlines notice that you get about an 8% yield premium on an overnight flight on a route compared to a day flight on that route. But nobody wants to say, congratulations, Mr. Leahy, read a little text message. Your flight is ready for boarding at 3:15 a.m. Please be at the airport 2 hours early. Or your flight's about to arrive at 4:30 in the morning. So people tend to group flights either as day flights or as night flights. And that further aggravates the fact that the airports are congested. They become even more congested at the time when people want to fly. That's the case for the A380. Traffic doubling every 15 years. The fact that people want to fly either at a nice day slot or a nice overnight slot and not every hour in between, just increase the frequencies. You can't do that on long-haul flying. So we're very pleased with the fact we've got the right solution. And some of you said, well, John, you're not really doing too well in the United States. Well, that depends. Give me some time. But look at Los Angeles. 380s every day of the week into Los Angeles. There are 11 flights with A380s, and that's who has them. If you go to other parts of the world, London Heathrow, there are 20 daily flights. And I really don't want to aggravate the situation by saying how many there are into Dubai, but it's substantially more. The fact is that almost all long-haul flying today is on A380s. There are, in 2014, 22 new routes, 10 new destinations opened up for the A380. 3 new A380 operators in 2014, and those are deliveries. I think you all know the airlines. It's the flagship of their fleets. They all say the aircraft works reliably. Passengers love it. You put it on a route, and you improve your market share. And by the way, it has the lowest seat mile cost you can get. So that's the product line that we're positioned for the next few years, and we're pretty pleased with it. On the very large aircraft, we've got the right aircraft in an admittedly small market that will continue to grow going forward. It's got the efficiency, it's got the actual size to handle the hubs and the routes that we need to fly as traffic doubles every 15 years. In the twin category, we've got a winning combination of the A330neo and the A350, and I shouldn't forget my A330ceo, the regional airplane as well in that market. As Delta proved, if you want the ideal airplane for the Pacific, you buy an A350. If you want an ideal airplane for the Atlantic, you buy an A330neo. And then there's a reason that we have about 60% of the market in the neo versus max story, because simply we have the better airplane. Thank you all, and I think, Fabrice, you want to open it for questions.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Fabrice. And now I'm happy to open the floor for your questions. First question in the room. Tim Heffer from Reuters. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can hear you anyway.
Who wired the microphone?
It wasn't me.
You got to turn it on.
Tim, stand up. And,
Okay, thank you. Tim Heffer from Reuters. You're very keen to, obviously gone out of your way to insist the A380 is nothing like a white elephant, but you have made white tails something you thought you would never have to do. What progress have you made in placing those? And given that you haven't actually generated a new order in the last year, apart from one that was held over from the previous year, or executed from the previous year, when do you think you will have to consider whether to cut production on the A380? And on the A320, you mentioned a process of stabilization of production. Do you feel that has been achieved now? Is the A3 narrow-body production system now stable? Is the supply chain stable? And when do you think you could start ramping up to close the gap between your delivery plans, which are 45% compared to Boeing, and your aspirations, which are 60% of the market?
Regarding the A380, you probably refer to the termination of the Skymark contract. We have 2 aircraft in the production process, so this is not a big deal to replace these aircraft towards our customers' community. So we are working on that. And for the next 3 years, we are fully booked on the A380. So this confirms what John mentioned. We believe we will get additional customers this year, and this aircraft has a long-term bright future. So industrially, we have also come a long way, both in production capability, but also in lowering the break-even. And this is why I can confirm that in 2015 we will achieve it. You know that you were questioning this Airbus challenge 3-4 years ago. We will do it. On the A320, we have decided to stabilize since the end of 2012 the output at rate 42. There were 2 reasons. The first one is that we wanted to prepare the transition from CEO to NEO without ramping down the production. It is clear now that we can transition at higher rates. And the first step has been already decided last year, which is to ramp up to rate 46, I think, from Q1 2016. We are studying what can be done further, because you are right, we have extra potential, but no decision has been taken so far. The supply chain has stabilized. We have a number of missing parts, which has been divided by a factor of 3. So we need to continue to improve, because if we continue to ramp up the production, we will need even a better performance of a supply chain. But we can say that in 2013, overall, the supply chain delivered what we expected from them.
Next question in the room, Mr. Penalba from Spain.
Hello. My question is again about the A380. I'm going to be very clear. Are you going to launch a 380 Neo?
So he's not sure to give you the same answer, so no. I can confirm that the top management of Airbus and Airbus Group is fully aligned on that. We suffered a lot on this program. Now we managed to make it work. It was a burden financially in the past, you know that. And my goal is to match customers' expectations and at the same time to avoid having another burden with the A380. So to answer your question, the priority today is to find other customers with the current version of the A380. We believe we can and we will do that, because when we convince an airline that they can introduce the A380 in their fleet planning, the numbers are good for the aircraft. And the A380 is by far the most efficient today and even tomorrow with a new generation of big twin aircraft. Bon. Then we have decided, and we will do that, to offer the possibility for some of our customers to have higher density cabin whilst keeping the best level of comfort for our passengers, is it in business and also in economy class. As an example, we have now a very good solution in economy class, 11-seat 11-seat abreast instead of 10, but maintaining 18 inches width of the seat. And we believe this should be the standard for the long-range transportation. Longer term, I believe we will move to evolutions of the A380. One might well be, as you mentioned, a concept around an A380neo, meaning some upgrades of the aircraft together with a re-engineering. It will make sense. And another one, I said even longer term, because it's a very young platform, and in 20 years we'll continue to improve this aircraft, will probably be, depending on long-term market request, even a stretch. But this is not today's focus, and you are not the one to give us the tempo. We are the one to decide, talking to our customers and looking at what can be done technically and financially.
Next question in the room, Robert Wall, Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, hi. I had a couple of questions on rate. First of all, Fabrice, maybe on the A320 rate question, what is the earliest you think you could consider going up beyond 46? And then also on rate, Tom Enders said last month he expected A330 CEO production to be cut further. What's your current thinking on that? And then perhaps, John, you can give us some color on your latest thoughts on Brent below 50 and impact on airline demand.
I take the first one, so I understand. It's probably after Q1 16, but we are investigating that. We, compared to a year ago, with additional net 300 CEOs, we have a much more robust backlog of A320 CEOs. And yes, we believe this is the time now to work out a solution to offer additional aircraft to the market. So we are studying that. It's a bit early to tell you, but probably in the course of 2016, we could continue the ramp-up of the production of the A320. We'll study, and when we are ready, clearly first half of 2015, we will give you the new production plan if and when it is decided. There was a question on the 330 also. 330, this is the same. We believe there is still a very active market and many campaigns for the 330 CEO, both for long range and domestic. And by the way, a lower fuel price improves the performance of the 330 CEO. So we believe we will get additional orders. We need a little bit more visibility on some campaigns. However, we also believe that we will have to ramp down the production from 2016 and prepare for the transition with the NEO. To which level it will depend on the market conditions and the campaigns, and we will also tell you probably in a few months. Then, the very good news on the A330 is that in the meantime, we have launched the 330neo, and so our transition is as short as possible. meaning I'm not waiting till 2020 to start ramping up the 330neo. I have all my industrial jigs and tools and buildings ready, and I know that once I certify this aircraft in 2017, I can again ramp up very fast with the neo. So we are talking about 16, 17, 18 maximum for a transition after that to neo. So it will be short term. We need to get additional orders, and I'm confident we'll get enough to have a smooth transition from 330CO to 330neo.
And with respect to, hello? Yeah, there we go. With respect to the price of oil, I think it's always good for the airlines because lower oil prices, assuming they haven't done crazy hedges, will mean they make more money. When airlines make more money, they tend to buy aircraft. A neo versus a CO on an A320, you know, a MAX versus an NG, both of us are trying to get premiums, obviously, for the new aircraft. The size of that premium is perhaps a little bit less if the price of oil is down, but then the airline has to decide if fuel is going for $1.50 a gallon, which is what I see jet fuel going for right now, compared to about $3.50 a gallon, over $3 anyway, a year ago. You know, they place an order today for an airplane to be delivered 3, 4, 5 years out, and then it has a life of 15, 20 years with them. Do they really want to make the bet that fuel stays this low? Most of them don't. So the fact that they're making money now, maybe more than they thought they would, gives them a chance to perhaps refleet even earlier. So I don't see it as a negative for orders at all.
Next question goes to Andrea Rossman, Bloomberg News.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Fabrice, I didn't entirely understand. You said that the top management of Airbus is all in agreement, but you didn't really say what they're... First of all, when you talk about the top management, do you mean at Airbus Group or Airbus the plane maker? And secondly, you said they're all in agreement, but on exactly what? You said there will be evolutions of the plane that may consider a new engine, but it's not really clear. And when you talk about a new engine, does that mean taking an engine from an existing platform that's not currently used on the A380, having Rolls-Royce come up, or having an engine maker come up with an all-new engine, or simply making tweaks to the current engine?
We have only one position at group level. And I belong to the group, as you know, and I'm even supposed to be the number 2 of the group. Number 1 as far as business is concerned. I cannot answer your questions because we have not studied it. We will study one day several alternatives, and we will come up with what we believe is the best. And what is the best? The best is a mix of technical performance, of capability to invest, and of customer positive reaction. This is what we did on the 330neo, because we believed it was time to do it on the 330. When we believe it is time to do it on the 380, we will have all these elements put together. And after that, this is a business-driven decision on the A380, like on any other program. So the message from the top management group is, we suffered a lot in the past. We are now reaching break-even. We believe there is a great future in this aircraft, but this is not an iconic product. This is a member of the Airbus family, which is as good as the 320, 330, 350. And then we talk about capital allocation, priorities, business requirements, and this is what we will be doing in the coming months and years. So there is no reason to behave differently with the A380 compared to another family of aircraft in Airbus.
Next question in the room. One more question to Andrea.
I'm sorry, totally other end of the spectrum. 319neo, will you definitely do that? Because you don't have that many orders for it.
except if John wants to rectify, yes, I'm ready to do it, and this is in our plans. And by the way, we believe if we take the corporate jet market, which is small but which is a good market, that the 319 Neo corporate jet will be a bestseller.
Is there any more question in the room? Again to Spain.
I would like to ask about the your position in China. Recently, you have announced a completion center. Starting to talk about opening a completion center in China. Would this evolve into FAL in China, as you have the 320, another for the 330?
You know, we had identified China more than 10 years ago as the next number one market for us. And by the way, in terms of passengers, I believe in the next 10 years they will become number one for domestic. The A320 final assembly line, which opened its operations in 2008, is a great success. We have delivered 203 aircraft since then. The market share of Airbus has achieved 50% overall, starting from a mere 25-30% when we launched the project. And all that is seen very positively by the Chinese customers, Chinese airlines, and Chinese authorities. So we have decided to study what we could do on top. We extended this cooperation for another 10 years, meaning up to 2024, moving to Neo assemblies. But we also discussed what could be done on another, more ambitious family, which is the long-range family of aircraft of Airbus, starting with the A330. And we are talking, especially with Tianjin, about an extension of our partnership on a completion and delivery center of A330s. So we would equip all the cabins of the aircraft in Tianjin. Will we decide to launch it? We will see this year. I think this year will be the year of decision. We are making good progress. I'm pleased with that. We are also testing the market. And so, again, like the previous question, my answer will be that we will take business-driven decision. But there is a clear premium to strategic long-term partnership with our Chinese partners, and this is what we are putting together with on top of the quality of our commercial offers and products.
The next question goes to Business News via DPA AFX, Steffen Weyer.
Good morning. 3 questions from my side. One is concerning the oil price again. When oil price is high, you say all the airlines will order more efficient airplanes, and if the oil price is down, they have much money to order more airplanes. So is there any scenario when the airlines won't order many new airplanes? Other question concerning the A380. Emirates, Tim Clark always spoke about the Neo, an A380 Neo. You talked to him, I think, John. You announced that in December. And you said sometimes Tim Clark changes his mind as on the A350. Is there a danger to the orders for the A380 you already have from Emirates if you don't decide to build the Neo? And the other thing, 1 year ago, you told us that you expect 30 new orders for the A380 for 2014. Are you less optimistic for this year? Or will all the orders come on in now?
Do you have any positive questions? Or okay. Okay. Look, in terms of the orders for the airplane, we have several campaigns underway. I think you saw the case for the A380 is very solid. I do not have one customer operating an A380 today that wishes they didn't have the A380. They're all very happy with the airplane. Their passengers are happy with the airplane. The economics work. Admittedly, it is a smaller market. It's always been a smaller market. You saw those numbers. We're dominating that market with about 90% share compared to our competitor's version, the 747-8 passenger. So would I like to see it bigger? Yes, but we're working deals. I've got several in negotiation right now. With respect to Tim had a right to cancel the A350. There are no rights to cancel A380s in his contracts. And on top of it, he keeps beating us about the head and shoulders over the fact he wants more. He doesn't want to cancel anything. He loves the A380. I'm sorry, there was a third one in there?
On all price. I think you answered, John. What I can say is that nobody knows the oil price in 2018, 2019, 2020. It's the first answer. And second, when you buy an aircraft, you buy it for a minimum of 12 years. So you cannot bet on the fact that the fuel will remain low for the next 10, 15 years. It's like if I bet that the euro will remain at 1.18, I don't know, forever. No. Or even I bet it will continue to go down. Probably, but for how long? And I need to take steps. I need to move to natural hedging with productions in dollars. I need to financially hedge for next 2, 3, 4 years of production to have visibility. And when my biggest cost is fuel, I need to reduce it. So I need to buy aircraft with lower fuel burn. On top of that, we have 6,400 aircraft in the backlog. We have demonstrated our backlog is pretty strong. So we could, in principle, sustain no order for 3-4 years. My right side would be extremely pleased. Extremely pleased. But this is not what we will do, because my left side will continue to push like hell to get additional orders. So don't worry on that.
Next question goes to Berlin Tagesspiegel, Rainer During.
I have two questions. The first one is you last increased the list prices. Here I am. You last increased the list prices a year ago. Will there be another change this year? And the second question is regarding the increasing order book for the A320. Can you give us an update on the build-up of the new FAL in the US? And do you have also in mind to increase production by building up further FALs, maybe in other countries?
So if you want to buy an aircraft, you should have bought it last year, by the way, because you will pay 3.27% more this year. It's very accurate, huh? Yeah. I'm impressed. Yes, it's a very good point. We don't mention it because it goes smoothly. The mobile final assembly line of the A320 is on track for an opening probably in September this year. So what we anticipated, which is a ramp up of the 320 family, is confirmed. And it means that we will need this mobile assembly line
to support the ramp-up of our production, which will be at rate 4, I think, is it early 2018, Tom? Early 2018 in Mobile, Alabama.
Thank you for your questions. With view on the interview schedule we have ahead of us and live commitments, I need to close now the press conference. We have the 4 gentlemen with us until 2 o'clock in several pool interviews also. We will later display the organization here on the screen. Here you have it. So we have all will happen there in the lounge area over there, where you can get French sound bites for radio and TV with Fabrice Brégier. You have Tom Williams for English sound bites, Didier Evra for also French sound bites. Then we have scheduled pool interviews with the gentlemen as of 1 o'clock, and everybody has an opportunity to post his questions there, the question you have missed now. So thanks for being with us, and it will be an exciting year ahead of us.